Alrighty, welcome back to Final Fantathon and Let's Play Final Fantasy III. I hope you're all doing amazing today. I certainly am. I've had a fantastic week, and I hope you guys are doing great as well. We are getting into it with this crazy dungeon of super death. I think. Oh, not this. We just talked to them. We got to go to the tower. So yeah, pretty excited to see what this tower is all about after all the hype leading up to it. And yeah, like I said, I hope you guys have had a great week. I have. We've had an amazing time. Smurgs! I forgot to mention the reason that I laughed about this Smurg thing is I have a video on YouTube about the Smurg in Final Fantasy X, who's super hard to capture, and it's just me running around singing a song about Smurgs, and it has way too many views on it for how stupid it is. So I find it funny that there's an enemy called Smurg in this game. We also noticed from the menu when we went in to load the game that our thief is level 99, job level 99. So that's something. Maybe that's why he's doing 9,999 damage. I think it's more so because of his new daggers, though, that are just mega strong. Where is our big airship? Don't we need our big airship? Maybe not. Maybe we can just fly over there. Because I don't need to go over the mountains, so it's wherever I left it. Well, that's the problem. I parked at a Walmart, so it's lost forever. Have you guys ever lost your car at an amusement park? I've lost it at Walmart before, but it doesn't take that long to find it. But one time, my wife and I went to Cedar Point and straight up lost our car in the parking lot, and that was pretty spooky, because who do you even call? Who do you even call to help? We could call Cedar Point staff and be or go up to the help desk and be we lost our car, and they'll be that sucks, dude. They can't really help. All they could do is maybe get a go-kart, and we could just drive around the go-kart and try to find it. Yeah, I mean, it's a real thing, man. You gotta write that down, because you will be in that parking lot for hours. I could believe it at Disneyland. Cedar Point's not that huge, but still would have taken us an hour to find our car if we had no idea where it was. Call a helicopter search. Yeah, you know what sucks though? Every car nowadays looks the same. We're not in the 80s where they had cool cars. All of our cars are the same. That thing looks cool. So I don't even think a helicopter would help. Okay, we got the helicopter inbound. What are they looking for? A silver Ford. Okay, the helicopter sees 90 of those. You're gonna have to give us more details. It's got wheels. I don't know. Every car is so boring now. If I had my choice, I would get a purple car or something. I don't know. I get a cool colored car. I miss the cool colored cars. I miss Skittle orange cars, or light blue cars, or just cool color green cars. There's not, everything's blue, silver, and brown now. We do have to go over the mountain. Big rip. How's it going, Funky? Yeah, this is the DS version. We're playing every original version that came over to the States. So this is the first version to come over, so it's the one we're playing. In the future, we might try out the PSP version as well. But for Fantathon, we're actually playing all the OG NA releases, so that would be this one. Which is unfortunate that it's this one. And not English translation of the Famicom version, but... Japan decided we were not ready for this powerful of a video game back then. Use the panic button. Okay, so like on my car, what I usually do if I can't find it is I just hit the lock button and it honks. But my wife's car, we don't have an electric key fob for. So, yeah, there's nothing we can do. And we usually take my wife's car to like amusement parks and stuff because it's bigger. So, I don't have like an official announcement for you guys yet, but I wanted to let you know, our Christmas event this year should be starting next week. It should be starting on Monday. And it's going to be a pretty big event. I'm hoping to raise some money for charity through the event. We always raise money for charity on the stream, but I'm looking to raise maybe some extra money. And I think that's my ship on the map there. And it's going to be a wild event. Because it's a lot of games that people have been looking forward to in an ironic way. So, yeah, it should be fun. Are you going to play Christmas-themed games? Sure, let's go with that. Totally Christmas-themed. They're Christmas-themed if you believe hard enough. I don't think I can get to it from here. I gotta go around. Yeah, we're just gonna play the Nightmare Before Christmas PS2 game again. That game was awful. Like, I'm a huge Nightmare Before Christmas fan, and I just had no fun playing that game. It was kind of bad. I couldn't even, like, enjoy it just for the fact that it was Nightmare Before Christmas. I love the fact that we treat the Game Awards like a joke. Oh, you mean we treat it like it is? You like the fact that we tell the truth? Me too. I like the fact that we don't lie about things also. Christmas Doom mod, let's go. I wonder if there is one. I feel like you're the only person who thinks Last of Us 2 is average. I can't really say because I haven't played it yet, but I know it got really good reviews because Last of Us, but it also had a lot of, like, people mad about it, so I don't know. You might not be the only one. Whoa! That's a tower. How's it going, Alvin? Yeah, now it's just one mountain. Yeah, I need to play Last of Us 2 so I can give you a better opinion of it. You Americans and your Christmas. Don't even celebrate Halloween all month. I think I told a joke about that last week, but I didn't actually explain it, and a lot of people probably don't know about that meme. We we have a very important meme in this community called the Holiday Guy. It's very important to everyone in our community that you understand and embrace this meme. Hold on, there's probably going to be a cutscene when I walk in here. Wait, is this like the gate before even getting to the tower? There's a maze just to get to the tower? Epic. I gotta say, I'm getting tired of this theme. I wish every dungeon didn't have the same theme. So, yeah. Thanatos. Not Thanatos. Dustin with the 10,000 bits. Happy holidays. Oh my god, I got one of the pajama ones. I didn't get the blue one, but I got the red one. I got the red pajamas. I still got to get the blue pajamas. But we got one piece of the puzzle. Thank you so much, Dustin. That means so much to me, man. Thank you so much. So we did we do a Halloween special every year called Hollow Month. It's our biggest event of the year. And 2 years ago, part of the Halloween special was Alien Isolation. And we were playing Alien Isolation, and some guy came in. He was really nice. Like, really, he was a cool guy. He was talking about how much he liked Alien Isolation and stuff. And then, like, an hour in to him being here, he said, oh, is this some kind of Halloween celebration? I was like, yeah, it's Hollow Month. We do it every year. We celebrate Halloween all year, play spooky games, and every year we have like a theme and yada yada. And this guy who had been nice and friendly and didn't say anything out of the ordinary for the past hour just randomly went on like this huge tangent about how Americans celebrate Halloween but not Christmas. But directed at me. He was like, he called me like a dirty American and said, you celebrate Halloween but you don't even celebrate Christmas. Like specifically attacking me. It was the most bizarre thing I've ever read. The most bizarre interaction I've ever had on Twitch, because I didn't say anything about Christmas. I didn't say we don't do a Christmas event, which we do. I never said I don't celebrate Christmas. I didn't say I didn't do a Christmas event. Like, he didn't say, like, do you do a Christmas event in the same way? Like, nothing. He didn't ask me anything about Christmas. He just like, decided that because I do a Halloween event, that must mean A, I don't do a Christmas event, B, I hate Christmas, and C, I'm a dirty American. I don't even know if I told him I was American. Like, I don't even know if he knew. Like, just out of the blue, just lost his mind. And we had to ban him because he just went off. Like, just completely lost his marbles. After like an hour of being completely normal and cool. It was so bizarre. I'm totally used to people like being crazy on the internet, but that threw me off so much. I was like, what in the world happened? So now there's like we always joke around that I hate Christmas. Dirty Americans love Halloween but not Christmas. Yeah, it was pretty bizarre. How's it going, Patches? Yeah, I have to make sure I explain it, because when people in the chat say like, wow, Death, you hate Christmas, you don't think they're being serious. If I don't explain the meme, then everyone actually thinks I hate Christmas or something. How's it going, Retro? Good to see you, man. Yeah, that was like, that was the Doga boss, but not. That's kind of weird. He's back. He's back from the dead. So, I had a really interesting experience the other day that I wanted to share with you. It was yesterday, actually. This crystal armor is insane. So I've been telling you guys I've been going through a lot of insurance issues lately. I finally got it all resolved, I think. But I had this really... Oh wait, it's literally called Yune's clone. That's bizarre. I had this really crazy interaction yesterday, so I won't go into like all of it, but basically, my newborn son, who we adopted, had a couple of appointments at a hospital. And because he was adopted, it took and because of, 2020, it took an insane amount of time for the insurance company to finally add him to our insurance plan. It took like 4 months. So over the last 4 months, we've been going to doctor's appointments for my son because he's an infant who was in the intensive care unit for 40 days. He has to go to the doctor. I can't wait. So we took him to all these appointments, and we told the insurance company to backdate, whenever he gets added to the insurance, to date it from before the appointment so that they could cover it. But they dragged their feet for so long to add him to the insurance that the hospital has been calling me every day, being like, you owe this money. And I'm like, I'm waiting for the insurance company this whole time. So, long story short, we finally got him added. That was a mask? What is a mask? Oh, that was Musk. Okay, I read that as mask, and I was like, what the heck? Is that an equipment? So we finally got him added, and I called the hospital and said, hey, he's added now. You can redo the bills because he's added now and he'll be covered. And they said, you got to call the insurance company and have it do it on their side. And my insurance company is impossible to get a hold of. If I call them during the week, during my lunch break, I don't get a hold of them by the time my lunch break's over. They sit me on wait for... I've been on hold for 40 minutes before and never gotten through. So I finally get through to them yesterday. And I'm like, hey, the hospital said you need to redo the stuff on your side because, Simon's on the plan now. And they said, we haven't seen anything from your hospital in months. And I'm like, what? That can't be right. So, I've never experienced this before, but I had to... Basically, the insurance lady kept me on the call and called the hospital on like a 3-way call. And I got to listen to the insurance lady go through the same garbage I've been going through for months, trying to get a hold of the right people at the hospital. And it was weird. It was like, I've never experienced anything like it. It's like being in the same room as your mom when she's like arguing with people on the phone. That's what it felt like. I'm just sitting there on mute on the phone, just listening to them going back and forth. And I'm just kind of sitting there like for 20 minutes, just kind of chilling there. Yeah, it was kind of weird. It was different. It was a different experience. And the first time we called in, she got like the rudest person at the hospital. And she sent her over to a voicemail. she was like, she was halfway through describing what was going on, and the hospital lady just cuts her off and goes, well, let me get you to the right people, and just sends her to a voicemail box. And so she hangs up and then goes, okay, we're calling back because I'm not dealing with that. So then we call back, and I hear her, like, to the next person, like, hey, the last person we talked to was extremely rude and sent us to a voicemail box. And the guy's like, oh, I'm sorry. She's like, I'm from the insurance company, and I have the father on the line, too, and we're both sitting here waiting for help, and you guys are being disrespectful. And he's like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like, if you've ever been in the same room as, like, your mom yelling at your brother or something, and you're just sitting there, like, hoping you're not in trouble, that's basically how I felt. For, like, half the conversation. Yeah. And then I got to listen to them go back and forth for like 20 minutes with like billing jargon that I didn't even understand. He was like, well, I have a VPN number. Does that give you what you need? And she's like, no. And I'm like, hey, I'm still here, guys. Every once in a while, they'd basically reference me for like 2 seconds. They'd be like, hey, what's the birth date? And I'd like quickly unmute and just be like, August, and then mute. They'd be like, okay, and then go back to what they were talking about. And I just sat there on mute for like 20 minutes, and they got it all resolved. And then they're like, do you need anything else? And I was like, no. It was kind of bizarre, yeah. But hey, we got it all figured out, so thank God for that insurance lady. She was awesome. I mean, and she said that she'd only been working there for like a couple weeks or something. And I was like, man, if I had just gotten a new job in an insurance company, I don't know if I would have the work ethic to like 3-way call with a dad and call their hospital and, you know, raise hell trying to get stuff figured out. Like, she was a baller. She said that I was supposed to get an email with like how did I do, and if I get that email, I'm gonna write like a whole 100-page I'm gonna write like a research paper about how awesome she was. It's like when you get a new person at Taco Bell because the taco is nice and full. Leave it up to you to somehow circle it back to food, but okay. I'll give you credit. Yo, how's it going, Joe? How you doing today, man? The origins of Craig? Well, one day, Square decided that they wanted to program the world map of Final Fantasy II, but they wanted to make sure that no one that played Final Fantasy II ever played another Final Fantasy game again. So they decided to contract someone devious enough to make such an awful, horribly punishing world map that everyone would just hate video games forever. But instead of hiring a real-life person, they opened up a portal to Hades and summoned the most ultimately evil programmer of all time. And they summoned Craig, the Forbidden One. Oh, the name Craig? That was the first name that came to mind. That story is not as exciting. It's just the first name I came up with. I thought to myself, if I, you know, worked in an office, what name would I not want to see as being my new, like, cubicle buddy? And Craig just came up. Like, not Craig. Anything but Craig. Cubicle Craig. So many chests. Chocobo's Wrath! Break Blade. I don't think I can use that. No. Sounds cool, though. Dang. Yeah, that's pretty strong. How would I rank this game? This is probably my least favorite Final Fantasy so far. There's nothing in particular that I, like, hate about it. It's just a bit dull. I'm still enjoying my time with it. But I think, like, this will be the least likely game for me to, like, want to replay, if that makes sense. Like, I don't see much of a desire to replay this game, with the exception of maybe just trying different jobs, but the story and gameplay and dungeons and stuff just isn't exciting enough for me to want to, like, replay it. I'm still enjoying it, and I'm still having fun playing it, and I'm glad we played it and everything. I'm not, like, sitting here like, you know. Like, I'm still enjoying it, but in terms of ranking it against the others, yeah, it has not impressed me to the point where I would put it above anything else. I don't like the 3D much. Like, I don't think they... And I think part of the reason that this game frustrates me is that it's a remaster. You know? Like, if we were playing the original, it'd be easier for me to be like, well, it's Final Fantasy 3, and they tried something a bit different, and yada yada. But the fact that this is a remaster, and it still feels really dull, is a bit of a letdown. I wish they had done a bit more with the remaster. Instead, it's like they made it 3D, it made the bosses harder, and that's about it. And it doesn't... It feels like they could have done a lot more. This does not feel like a better experience, it just feels like a different one. So, I'm definitely not impressed with the remaster. In terms of original Final Fantasy III, I feel like at least the job system was a cool idea. My issue with the job system is that every time you switch jobs, you get punished, which I don't like. I don't see... Like, my two biggest complaints about the job system is that you're punished when you change, and there's no reason to change, because the original jobs are really good. So, you know... To me, it's like, why in the world would I change? People were saying, like, oh, you should change to Dragoon, and I was like, changing to Dragoon would be cool, but then I get the grind for, like, 30 minutes to make him relevant when my Thief is doing 9,999 damage. So, like, why would I change to Dragoon, you know? So I feel like what they needed to do was, like, balance the jobs a bit better, and then make it not punishing to change, so that when you get into a dungeon, you can think, like, okay, what do I want for this dungeon, and like switch classes based on what you want. That would have been more interesting. Almost like Final Fantasy X, where you switch in different characters depending on what you're fighting. Instead, you just kind of pick the 4 that you like and then stick to it, because why in the world would you change? So... Ooh, that's gonna be good. I wasn't sure what that thing was. It's an axe. Oh my god. Yep, that's something. So yeah, that's just my opinion. I can see where some people would really like the job system in this game. But I think even if you like the job system, there's just not enough meat here. The story is just kind of go here, do that. The characters are kind of awful. Like, you know, I want to go easy on the characters because this was still in the early times where they didn't really focus as much on the characters. They focused more on the world. But what frustrates me is that I liked Final Fantasy II's characters more. You know? Like, Final Fantasy II's characters at least were friends, and then there was the one that, like, backstabbed them and then turned out to help us in the end, but then left. Like, there was at least a little bit of exciting, like, you know, back and forth with the characters. In this game, it's just like, there's nothing. The characters are just useless. There's no reason for them to be here. I had really wished that there would be maybe a dungeon that, like, forced Ark to, you know, do things on his own and maybe grow a bit, and maybe there was a dungeon that forced Lunith to realize that Ark is becoming a man or something. Like, just because at the beginning it made it seem like there was going to be some kind of interaction between the two, and since then they haven't said a word to each other. Instead, we just get to NPCs and one of the characters decides to talk to the NPC and that's it. So, you know, there's no... It's not even like character development, because Final Fantasy II didn't really have much character development either, but there's not even character interaction. You know what I mean? Like, at least in Final Fantasy II there was an interaction. There was the one guy that was evil, and they were like, oh, why are you evil? Like, help us. And he's like, fine, I'll help you. And, like, there was at least an interaction. Here, I don't think our characters have talked to each other in a long... They just talk to the NPCs, and it's almost like a random person decides to talk to the NPCs. Sometimes Ark does it. Sometimes Lunith does it. Sometimes Refia does it, but it doesn't seem to be any rhyme or reason. They just pick one. So the fact that I liked Final Fantasy II's characters more, that's kind of a yikes. Because I can understand that these characters obviously aren't going to be as good as, like, Final Fantasy VII's characters. But at least there was something in 2 to get excited about. Here, it's just like going through the motions. So that's a bit unfortunate. And, you know, the music in this game is okay, but all the dungeon themes are the same. And it just kind of makes every dungeon feel the same. It's just like a maze with lava. Every dungeon is a maze with lava, or a maze with water, or whatever. And it's all the same theme, and there's not much of a, you know... There's not much thematic cohesion with the dungeons. In fact, the bosses you fight are usually just random. Like, we go through a dungeon with water, and then we fight Medusa at the end, and you're like, okay. So... yeah, it's just kind of all over the place. But like I said, those are all just kind of like, if I were trying to give this game an unbiased rating, if I were working at IGN and I had to give it a whatever out of 10. Me personally, I'm enjoying this game. I'm still having fun. But it's definitely not my favorite. Yeah, I believe they fixed the MIDI issue in Final Fantasy VIII. I heard about that. That was probably the least important thing to fix, but yeah, I'm pretty sure they fixed that. I would much rather them fix the fact that Cid looks like an Atari character in half the cutscenes. And, what else? The strange coverings, the strange censorship could also be fixed. Of course, they didn't fix it now. I don't think they're ever going to fix it, but... Dude, I'll never forget that one... I'll never forget that one scene where Cid literally looked like a cardboard cutout. And he was a main character. Like, he was a main focus of that cutscene. That's what... It's not like he was just... you know, not important in that section. Like, no, he was like talking in that cutscene, and he looked like cardboard. It was pretty ridiculous. Because you could make the argument that, like, okay, if you upscale all the characters, but you leave the backgrounds the same, then yeah, there's going to be times where it looks kind of hideous because the characters look really good, but the backgrounds look really bad. But there's no reason why you shouldn't upscale Sid, who's a main character, and is in, like, front of other characters. So, yeah, that whole remaster was a bit of a yikes. At least the trophies weren't as bad as Final Fantasy IX, but they were worse than Final Fantasy VII's. Yeah, they censored Siren for, like, seemingly no reason. I think they censored Shiva, too. And then they censored one of the space scenes, I think. Oh, yeah. $236. Still not as good as Bare Hands. Yeah, I gotta get rid of that pixel cleavage. I'm sorry. I know I crap on Final Fantasy 15 all the time. I'm not trying to crap on Final Fantasy 15. I'm trying to crap on Square Enix. Can you believe that we live in a world where Cindy exists in Final Fantasy 15, but, like, they have to censor the pixel cleavage of Rinoa in Final Fantasy VIII Remastered? Like, that's the world we live in. That's the brainwave that Square Enix is on right now. Like, they're gonna have Cindy, who is not only Cindy, but also, like, stereotyped beyond belief. Like, crouch over the car while she's cleaning it with a soapy rag and be like, I'm cleaning your car, boys. But then they see Rinoa, a completely serious, not sexualized character, with pixelized cleavage, and they're like, hold on a second, we gotta cover this up. Like, what is the thought process? That just blows my mind. Yo, Aaron! Thank you so much for the 27 months. Welcome back, dude. I could see them maybe censoring Rinoa as a way to make her more serious. That makes no sense to me because she's already serious. But I guess I could see that. But then why cover up Siren, who, like, that's literally part of her... That's what she's supposed to be. She's supposed to be a sexualized summon that, like... That's her whole thing. Doesn't make any sense. Also, this song is a banger. I'm going to reopen so we can hear it again. Thank you for the 100 bits, Mad. Appreciate it, man. Pretty epic song. Yep. Oh, there's plenty of stuff like that in 15. There's plenty of stuff like that in 13, too. Yeah, it's definitely one of those times where if they hadn't censored it, we would have noticed less. You know what I mean? Like, no one on the entire internet would have gone to Reddit and been like, have you seen the cleavage on Rinoa in the Final Fantasy VIII Remaster? It's insane. Please give this game an M rating. But the fact that they covered it, now everyone's like, well, wait a second. You know? Like, no one's playing Final Fantasy 15 and then going back to 8 and being like, whoa, my children can't see this. I guarantee no one would have done that because it looked no different than the original. And no one did it with the original. If they were going to complain about something, they'd complain about the original. And then someone would obviously respond, "You're the handsomest guy in here." Yeah, I don't know. That's the thing, like, I'm not completely against them censoring Final Fantasy VIII Remastered, okay? If back in the day they did it, not realizing the problems with it, and then they grew up to be a more, like, PG-friendly company, and a company that wanted to have a more wider range of audience, and they wanted their games to be more acceptable to everyone, and they made a remaster of 8, and they decided, you know what, this choice that we made back then, I feel like we want to change it for this release, then fine. Like, it's their game, it's their company, do what you want. My problem is, that's not at all why they did it. They're more risque now than they've ever been. So what, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make any sense. They have gone from, you know, making games that are obviously T to games that should be M, and yet that's their issue, is the pixelated games of the T era. Like, it doesn't, these concepts don't match. That's actually really good, really nice that they did that, Darth. I don't know if I'm going to play any Cyberpunk. I'm not specifically interested in it. If someone donates it for a fan day or donates it for Trophy Quest, and as long as they have like a filter, I will play it. But I'm not personally running out to buy it. I thought it looked good, but I wasn't personally like super interested in it. It's one of those games that I'm like, I might buy it used in the future, you know? Like, I'm definitely not pre-ordering it or anything. Only those who possess the light from the 4 crystals may pass. Do I have to... Uh-oh. Do I not have the 4 crystals yet? I thought I did. Maybe... Well, now wait a second. We had to go... I can't remember if we did the other crystal or not. I feel like we didn't. Because they said we needed to go... Yeah. I figured, because I remember them saying, you gotta go do the final crystal, and then go to the tower, but I thought we had done that last week. I guess not. What the heck are these things? Bluck? How's it going, Vagrant? Yeah, this is the same company that released Tifa's official bra size in the Final Fantasy VII Remake Omega. That's it. We need Renoa's cleavage measurements before and after the sensor in the Final Fantasy VIII Omega. That's the only way I'm gonna. It's the only way I'm ever gonna play Final Fantasy again. We need the numbers. The numbers, Mason. What do they mean? For now on, you're allowed to censor stuff, but you got to give us the measurements first. That's the only way, Square. Crap, do I have to go all the way out now? Of this maze? I mean, it wasn't even a maze. It, like, there was no dead ends. I just kind of went from point A to point B. It's alright, we can use the experience. I'm equally offended. Yeah, I don't know. I just wish anything that Square did actually lined up with their... You know, I just wish they had some kind of, like, cohesion. I'm okay with Square over-sexualizing their characters if that's what they want to do. I'm okay with them censoring their characters if that's what they want to do. I just wish there was any kind of cohesion. Instead, it's like we get Final Fantasy 15... completely out of nowhere nonsense Cindy character who is a terrible representation of everything. And then Renoa, who's a respected character from the past, gets censored. Like, why? Yeah, just be consistent. Like, I mean, if it were up to me, like if I was the lead director of Square, I would not change anything from the past games. Even if my company moved towards more of a PG company, I feel like the past is the past, you know? I mean, you can see that with my YouTube. Like, I moved to a PG show, but I still have my old videos where I cuss every other word on my channel. Because I think it's important to respect the past and where we came from. There's no reason for me to go back and, like, censor those videos. You know, that's our history. That's where we came from. I don't... You know, I want to respect my history. So, I feel the same way if I were a video game company. I wouldn't censor my old games. Even if I've moved to the point where, like, I don't create stuff like that anymore, I still wouldn't censor it. You know, as long as it's not, like, hurting anyone. Obviously, if it was, you know, if they did something that was of the time, but then later it became something that was racist or whatever... Maybe a term that they used wasn't racist back then, but is racist now, then, like, yeah, sure, you know, censor that. But if it's not hurting anyone, then I don't see any reason to censor it. It's the past. Like, it's where you came from. It's where your company was built from. There's no reason to censor it. I think I've only let a cuss slip, I think, twice on stream in the last 3 years. One of which wasn't even a slip, it was, like, on purpose. The other one was a slip. Would it be considered backseating if you were recommended to create a second save file at a certain point in the game? If you wanted to tell me to make a second save file, but not tell me why, that's fine. I don't mind that. I don't think I'd really be using 2 save files in any of these playthroughs, because kind of the whole point is to be a casual playthrough without knowing anything in advance. But if there's some kind of weird reason you want me to make a second save file, like maybe there's a point of no return and there's a super boss that I would miss, then sure, that's fine. If it improves the playthrough, that's fine.
What am I gonna do?
If it's because, like, there's 2 ways to do something, then no, because we'll just do whatever I pick, but... A let's break of every Final Fantasy game? Probably not. A lot of the games aren't really that breakable. I did Let's Break Final Fantasy VIII because 8 is super breakable. And Let's Break Final Fantasy VII is just every day, so... I probably won't do that. The only other game that I would maybe do like a Let's Break would be maybe like 10. But 10 isn't really that breakable in terms of like glitches, it's just breakable in terms of mechanics. But that's kind of what 8 was, so... Yeah, maybe a Let's Break Final Fantasy X one day. Now, I'm kind of racking my brain right now. I remember when we talked to the 2 that died, they said I had to go get 1 more crystal and then come to the tower, but I swear we did that last week. But I guess not, because I saved right after we left that building, so I guess I just misremembered. I could have swore we had done the last crystal. Ow! That hurt. Technomancer. No. How's it going, Forrest? Yeah, X2 is very breakable also, because I remember breaking it casually and ending up at the end of the game on level like 20. I don't know how I did it. Would I do an item-only run? No, that sounds lame, because items in that game are broken. Although I guess NSG and SNO kind of was item only in a way, but not really. It really sucks that Ark died, of all people. 'Cause he's the one that can teleport us out. You know, I probably could just teleport out, and it would put us on the other side, but I'm not sure. It might also put us on the side we came from. And Ark was guarding, too, and still got wrecked. Guarding in the back row and still got wrecked. Some of these enemies have serious health. Probably because you're supposed to come here after the next dungeon. That's good, though. We probably got some really good experience here because it's a bit higher leveled than we're supposed to be. Think of 100 bits half. Double Yuffie glitch was cool. Double Chocobo is even more cool. I like the Corneo scene where like Yuffie was there but not there. I still call him Corneo even though it's supposed to be Corneo. I think Corneo sounds funnier. How's it going, Limit Break? Switched to a white mage near the end of last week. Titus is correct, so I don't know what you're talking about. Tedious. YouTube loves the fact that I'm doing my own thing and creating a very unique playthrough with different job choices than normal people would pick, which creates a more exciting playthrough and atmosphere, obviously. At least, that's what I hope. There are a few outliers, but don't worry about that. Hey, how's it going on, Dub? Nah, people are really enjoying this playthrough. As am I. Okay, so... Okay, I see why I'm confused now. Because they told me to go here, I thought, but I did go here. So did I not finish this dungeon, or... Yeah. My brain waves are getting tied here. Let me see. Oh, I wonder if... I think I might know. I think I need to... No! I think I might understand. Or I'm just completely out of my mind. We're gonna find out. It's probably a good bet to make. Thank you for the 249 med. Appreciate it. It's so weird that you get fights on the airship, but they're so rare. You can fly for like 2 minutes and then get a fight. Let's go in Kodaks. We must find the fjord. Fire sport. I don't know why we need that. The airship battles aren't really that hard. Yeah, they're just standing there. They're chilling. Okay, so I might be crazy, but yeah. So that's why I was confused, because they said to go do the ancient maze with the Eureka key and then go to the tower, and I was thinking those were two separate places, and that was the place we did last time with the whole maze of mountains. But it's actually two separate places, but they're right next to each other, like the tower's inside the maze. So that's pretty, like, confusing. It wouldn't have been that confusing if I hadn't left for a week and come back right after they said that, but it's still a bit confusing because they're two separate places, but they're located in the same spot on the map.